All right, so I'm playing. So, Rachel, been a hell of a week.
Yeah.
Got one ginormous horse in the horse lane. I just took a picture of his tail all bound, and I was watching you bind it there this morning, and I'm like, you were like, yeah, I wonder if he doesn't mind this. I hope he doesn't blow off as he normally does. And I looked at his face, and he was just somewhere else in the world thinking about something.
Yes.
How crazy's your week been?
Yeah, it's certainly surpassed my expectations or my thoughts of when I was coming.
Yep.
Yes, it certainly has.
And, well, we know why you picked him, because he's huge and he's gorgeous and he's a spunk, but he's tested you.
Yeah, look, he's certainly. I thought I was reasonably patient, but you just realise how much patience you need for this sort of thing, and especially for wild horses in this method.
Yes, and I had a really good question. Oh, I have lots of good questions, but I always lose them. Yeah, so I mean, you picked him. He's you found parts in yourself that you didn't know existed, or you found parts you hadn't visited for a long time?
Yeah, it pushes you. This week's pushed me, and it's pushed my courage, I think. It's pushed me past the ingrained beliefs or ingrained traditions that I had in me. And this method has certainly pushed me past that and made me believe that you can surpass things that you think are unsurpassable. It's been, for me to stand up in front of a horse right in their striking zone, to shoulder charge a horse, especially a wild horse on day 3 of handling.
Yep.
Look, there are still certain parts of me, Joe, that thinks you've handled that horse before I got here, because I can't believe that he's come to what he has. Yeah. But it's amazing, and it's and it makes you believe that there are other ways to do things.
Yep. And there's a big sleeping giant just standing there to be shoulder charged in every mob.
There is, and they will repay you with love and those big brown eyes.
Yeah. How's the empowerment of that? Having that massive horse and you're just shoulder charging him and him saying, "Go on." You see him leaning in. I was giving him the old shoulder charge, and of course, if anybody's seen me, I go out about 2 or 3 feet and rock in like an old billy goat, and of course he's dropping his shoulder, meeting me halfway, and not moving another hair on his body. He's just rocking his shoulder into me to meet me.
I've never thought
to
I'd
play.
see something, and that was what it was. He's going, come on, bring it on,
go on.
Yeah, and you met a wall, a solid wall, but it's it never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined doing that. Didn't truly understand the need to do that, but now that I've done it, now that I see the results of it, I understand it so much more. Yeah, it all plays out as it goes. Yeah. We don't talk too much about what's going to happen during the week. We do talk about how, different aspects of it's going to affect you emotionally and physically and all that type of stuff, but we don't talk about what's going to happen next. You just got to do that, and it just folds into the next thing. Gates. What have we got to do? So many gates. And then people come back like, oh, I love gates. And my horse is just following me around. Well, why do you need a horse that follows you? Well, you're not dragging it. But of course, when we have to come to mouthing it, it's looking for that person on the ground to walk to. No, it's amazing in that sort of thing. And Meg had him going through 2 tight trees in a figure of 8 motion, and she was 1.5 trees in front of him with just the lead rope, and eventually he was just following the lead rope. And the plan is for him to be a bush horse in steep country, and you got to get off and lead sometimes. And and knowing my horses at home, a lot of times they wouldn't follow you in that sort of thing. But whereas I now have a really good respect for a horse that he's going to follow me.
Yeah,
he's going to just follow that lead rope no matter where I go.
And he'd follow you in the war.
Yeah,
You give his complete life for you.
Yeah, no.
Pretty cranky mob of people this week. How'd you get along with them?
No, it's we've had an eclectic mix of people in our group. Young people, older people, middle-aged, different strengths, weaknesses with dealing with horses,
and experience,
and life experiences,
and horse experience,
from
zero to lots.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes coming in blind's actually better, because I think sometimes the ones with zero experience have far surpassed.
Yeah, don't have to worry about uneducating themselves on.
No.
Oh no, you can't do that. That's you get someone who's never touched a horse and say, "Oh, do that," and they're like, "Okay." Like a land of slaughter, and someone who's got a different background is like, "I'm not stepping closer. You're going to strike me."
That's exactly right. And so, there was times I thought, "Oh Jesus, don't do that, don't," and they did it, and the horse responded, and it was great. But it was a great mix of people. The quarters, the food. I come here to lose weight because I was thinking, or to maintain the weight loss. I don't know that that's happened with that food. It is, if it's worth anything, it's worth for the food alone. But we've all gelled.
Yeah,
it's all been good.
Yeah, it's good. And you think that what you've learnt through the horse this week will overflow into your everyday life?
I hope so. I hope I can maintain that back in reality. I hope it's not, I've got to work on it, and that's one thing you've realised. Every morning you've got to come back and you've got to re-show the love to your horse. And,
overflow into your everyday life.
But you realise that you do have to constantly work onto it. You can't just think, yes, you've got it today, tomorrow's going to be fine. And I think that crosses over into every part of your life.
Yeah.
You've got to keep going.
Good point.
Yeah.
And pretty hard to pick out your horse, or was it easy? I mean, you got down between two, but I mean,
it was
what
funny.
about that pen over there? Oh no, I don't want to call it a horse. And what about this one? No, I don't know. And it's a different colour. That one's got spots. That one's brown. That one's yellow. That one's,
Look, there's a fantastic choice there, and I tried to phone a friend and send a video to a friend to get a choice. But the question that I was picking between one, I had my heart, well, not my heart set, but I was pretty keen on one. And you said to me, "What are you going to do with it? What's your plan?" And and that made me reevaluate my choice. And I couldn't be happier with the choice that I've made.
Bethany made a good point. She said, "I don't know how it happened, but we all got the horses that we needed."
We did, and you do have to wonder what that actually, how you end up with that, and
a few things ringing through your head from Joe said we're all going to end up with a horse that we need.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I've thought Joe was a bullshit artist, but you know what? At the end of the day, he's had it down pat. He's had it right, and it's been an awesome week. It really has. Words
of wisdom. Oh, well, okay, you're a cocky. Times are tough. You had to shell out healthy money. Your value for what you got. So you come over, you had food, your accommodation, you had tuition, you had time off the property, you had time for yourself. A lot of people don't take time out for themselves.
It's enormous, and it is all of those things. And I have to say, in the first 2 days, I went, "Oh my God, I have wasted my money. This was the biggest mistake." A lot of people were against the idea of me coming, spending the money, all of those things, what that value of money could have bought elsewhere.
That's right.
And especially in times of drought and things like that. But, at the end of it, if this is something that you want to work with in life, and horses are, it's worth every cent. But it's not just about the horses. It is about yourself and the empowerment and the ability to push yourself past limits of what you thought you couldn't do.
That's exactly it. And, you know, like being a cocky myself, you're like, oh no, I'll go without this and I'll go without that, and no, I won't go and get my back fixed. I'll go another 6 weeks with my crook back, but then that impacts on someone else. It impacts on your thinking. It impacts on everything. At least now you can go home with a good, crisp, clear mind, and you know, and hit things up a bit harder and go a bit stronger, and maybe flow over onto a few other people, and you know, lift their day as well.
That's it, and that's what it teaches you is, you know, you are stronger than what you think, and you know, and it makes you push that limit a little bit further if you truly believe in it, and that's been a phenomenal part, and I'd recommend it to anyone and everyone in all skill sets to challenge your ingrained beliefs and have a go at it.
I had some pretty good laughs at you this week, I've got to admit. You're like, that'll never work. No way. I'm like, go and do it. And you're like, bugger me. That just worked. Oh, I just walked behind that horse. I just plaited his tail. I just, you know, and it's like, I don't mean inside just, well, I don't laugh on the inside. I laugh on the outside. But I'm like, how funny is that? You know, and I love it because it's like, no, that's impossible. And it's like, holy smoke. That is so easy. And yeah, it's kind of like that money moment, you know.
It is, but you know, without yourself and Meg and Charles behind, pushing, giving that confidence.
That's it.
You know, that's unbelievable.
And having that variable too. Like, it was just me. You're like, oh, you know, yeah, okay, he's pretty confident. But I had 3 professionals all stand there saying, oh, yeah, no worries, mate, you'll be right. You know, we got Band-Aids in the cupboard.
I've seen the first aid kit. It's okay, but you do wonder sometimes when you're playing with the horse's bum.
Oh, we got the big loader there. It digs a hole pretty quick.
Digs a hole. But, you know, and that's also the beauty is the fact that there's 3 different people. There's 3 slightly different attitudes,
that's
all
right.
with the same common goal.
That's right.
But they focus, and so, you know, you may not be feeling really comfortable one spot, but, you know, someone else can bring in just a slightly different ring to it, and it clicks that way.
That's right. Yeah, normally we got Grace and Henry, but they're out getting some life experience at the moment. It's the same deal, you know, a young 17 and 18-and-a-half-year-old girl, or boy and girl, in the yard showing people how to do it. And, you know, they don't have a life experience outside of the horse stuff a bit, but they bring the same deal. They're like, oh, yeah, no, you'll be right. Yeah. Just do it like this. That's okay to have a cry. I'll stand here and wait for you. Just slip over in the back corner there. Your horse will soak up most of that. You know?
Yeah.
No, I think it was great having Charles down, and of course always have Meg here. So it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we covered it. You got the food, got the accommodation. Anything else you want to throw in there quickly?
Have a go. Push yourself and have a go.
Step outside of it.
Yep, it is, and you know, it is a week out, and I've never been to Cobar. I've never been anywhere near this far west, and you know, it's pushing your comfort zone in every way, shape, and form, but it is worth it, and it's worth it in so many levels.
Quickly, walking home with those beautiful sunsets.
Oh, look, awesome, just awesome. It's beautiful, and it's time to reflect, and
isn't that
lovely.
Just the best? And what about the people that were coming and going during the week, and the couple that we, you know, just watching them flourish, like from crumbled to fully standing up.
Yeah, you know, it's beautiful
People's
to see.
journeys.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see what, you know, an animal can do to someone who's struggling in a lot of situations, the courage that it can give them, and the love that they can, and it's nearly instantaneous in that sort of.
It is, isn't it?
It was amazing to see what those couple sort of grew with, and how they grew as a person, and their interaction growth with us from that was amazing.
That was great. Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.